with what is 15% of 100. So x is equal to 0.15 times 100. So let's look at the next one. The sum of two numbers is 20. So how would we rewrite this as a statement? Sum of two numbers is 20. Yeah, because we're just defining two numbers. Now, it doesn't say that they're the same number, so I can't say x plus x, because it's two numbers, so we'll use x and y equals 20. And the last one on this page, the difference of two numbers is 5. So what would we do for this one here? So difference. Yeah. And that's it. So we're going to translate these next equations and solve. So these ones we're actually going to solve. A certain positive number is multiplied by 4, and then the result is subtracted from the original number. The result is 21 less than 0. What is the number? So what does the first part say? So a positive number is multiplied by 4, yes? So how could we write that? Yeah. We could say 4x, because x is going to be some positive number. So we can say some positive number is multiplied by 4, so we can 4x. And then what? The result, so the result of whatever this is what? Subtracted from the original number. So what are we calling the original number? X. So we can say x minus 4x is 21. So that's the first part of this statement, yes? Because this is on page 39, sorry. Because it should be the top one, yes? A certain positive number is multiplied by 4, and the result is subtracted from the original number. So we have that so far, yes? Yeah. The result, so what this is equal to is 21 less than 0. Yes. So we have the equation. Now we just need to solve. So what can we do first to solve? Combine like terms. So x minus 4x is negative 3x equals negative 21. Then what can we do? Divide both sides by negative 3, telling us x is equal to 7. And that's it. Questions on this here? Yeah, so the translated equation would be our x minus 4x equals negative 21. Okay. And then when we solve it, we get that x is 7. Let's look at the next one. When asked her age, Susan replied, if you take my age and square it, and then subtract 22 times my age, the result is 75. How old is she? Okay, so what'd she say? If you take my age and square it, so what would that be? X squared. And then subtract 22 times my age, so 22x. The result is, so this is the translated equation. This is the equation we're looking at. x squared minus 22x minus 75. Now, most likely, they're going to give us some answers, A, B, C, and D. Now, we could take each one of those numbers and plug it in for x. So we can plug it in for x squared and x and see what we get. Now, the other option is to set this equal to 0. If we subtract 75 from both sides, the right side will be 0. The left side is going to be x squared minus 22x minus 75. And we need to solve it from here. Now, there's different ways we can go about solving it. One of them is graphing. We can use the graphing calculator to actually figure this out. Algebra 2, yes. So if you want to grab a graphing calculator, you can, because we can use that to solve. So what we can do is hit y equals and type the graph in, type the function in, because we have x squared minus 22x minus 75, yes? And then we can hit graph. So we do see one spot where it intersects the graph, yes? Now, another way we can look at this is second graph, look at a table. So at -3, the y value is 0, because whenever we're graphing these, we're looking for what value of x is going to make the function equal 0, yes? Is -3 going to be the correct answer? Can you be -3 years old? No. Technically, you could be negative, 9/12, which is 3 goes into both, so -3/4 years old. Yeah, in the womb, because we only start counting after birth. So technically, you can say that, but we don't count negative years. So we're looking for a positive amount, yes? So we can keep scrolling down to see if we get a value of 0. So the answer is so here, x is equal to 25. Because that's the only one that we actually care about, because again, your age can't be negative, it can only be positive. Questions on this here. Now again, you can have these graphing calculators on the test, and they can help you. And let's look at the last one on this page. Jack got a rough start in science class this year. He got a 68 on his first test and a 72 on his second. After that, he studied very hard and scored 100 on each remaining test. At the end of the semester, his total test score average was 88. With each test having equal weight, how many tests in total did Jack take in science class this semester? So how do we average something? So we do what? So we have 68 and 72, yes? Well, we can add those two together, yes? And if I was averaging these two, we'd do what? We would add them together and divide by what? 2, because we divide by how many that we have, yes? So, mathematically, what we could say is, well, looking at this here, so if every test after it, he gets 100, yes? We need to see how many tests he takes so that his average is what? 88, yes? So if he got 100 on one of them, we're looking at how many total tests? 3, yes? Because we have 2 plus 1 on bottom, 3 total tests. We can average this. So I can get the calculator back out. Second quit. Alpha y equals enter. Because we had 68 plus 72 plus 100. How many tests is this? is that 88? No, okay. So we can change this to 4 because we can add another 100-point test. Okay. So we'll change it to 5 because we want to add another 100-point test. Yeah. So really, well, what did I do? I just kept adding another 100-point test, 100-point test, to see how many tests it's going to take to get to 88%. So how many tests did he take? 5. So this one here, I just kept adding the test to it and working up to it. So we don't necessarily have to do the mathematical way, the correct mathematical way to solve it. Because if we wanted to do it purely by the mathematical way, because we can say 100 times x, because each test is worth 100 points, and this here is set equal to 88. And we could solve this here for the equation. Or we can do it our way, where we add a 100-point test and divide it by the total number and see if we get 88. So I'm just testing and seeing which one works. Questions on this here? Okay. And I think that was the last thing in the... I think we had a few more with this here, yes? So let's look at the next one. The cost of 2 drinks, or 2 tacos and a drink, is $3.07. The cost of 3 tacos and a drink is $3.86. How much does a drink cost? We're on page 40, yes? Yeah. Yep, so it gave us the answers also, yes? So let's see what the 2 equations that we have. So 2 tacos, so we can say 2t plus a drink is how much? Then we also have that 3 tacos and 1 drink is how much? 386. Now there's different ways we can go about getting the answer. Because we could go and try to figure out how much each taco changed or costs. Because the only real difference between these 2 is that we have 1 more taco, yes? So how much did the price go up? 79 cents, isn't it? Because one of the methods we can use is our elimination method with systems, which means we get one of the variables to be the same, to have the same number in front of it. And here, our variable d has the same number in front of both, yes? 1 and 1. And since they have the same sign, we could subtract. D minus d is 0. 2 minus 3 is -1, is equal to 3.07 minus 3.86 is going to be -0.79, which is telling us that the value of t is 0.79. And now we can plug it back in, because we can pick the first equation. We can do 2 times 0.79 plus d is equal to 3.07. Well, 2 times 0.79 is going to be 8, carry the 1, 15. So 1.58 plus our drink is equal to 3.07. At this point here, we can subtract it from both sides. These will cancel, telling us that the cost of the drink, so 2, 9, 17 is going to be 9, 4. So the drink is going to be $1.49. Any questions on this here? Welcome. Now, okay. Hoping it would let me undo, but that's fine. Because our two equations, again, are 2t plus d equals 3.07. And 3t plus d equals 3.86. So these were our two equations, yes? Now, we went over this once before in Algebra 2, but we can do a system. We can rewrite this as a system of equations, or as a, not system of equations, it's already there, as an augmented matrix. And an augmented matrix, what we're doing is we're taking all the numbers, the coefficients. So here, we're taking the numbers in front of the variables and the number itself. So we would have 2, 1, 3.07. And in the second one, we'd have 3, 1, 3.86. And we can use the graphing calculator to solve this. And the way that we can do that with the graphing calculator is using the matrix and entering it as a matrix and using our REF. So the first thing we can do is type it in as a matrix. Now to do that, we're going to do second matrix, second x to the negative 1. Then we'll go over to edit, and we'll hit enter for the first matrix. So we're going to plug the numbers into the first one. It is a 2 by 3, because whenever we have two variables that are equal to something, it's going to be 2 by 3. Because in each equation we have 3 terms, or 2 variables and a number. And how many equations do we have? 2. We have 2 equations with 3 different spots. So we can do 2 for t, 1 for our drink, and then 3.07. For the next one, we would have 3 for t, 1 for d, and then 3.86. And hit enter. Are we able to get those typed in? Now what we can do next is second quit, and then we're going to go second matrix. But this time we'll go over to math, because we need our REF, reduced row echelon form, the one with the 2 R's. Our REF. We can hit enter. Then once we get this, we'll go second matrix, A, enter, and we get this here. So we said the first one was our tacos, the second one was our drinks, yes? So the first row is telling us that tacos are 79 cents, and the second one's telling us that the drink is 1.49. So the cost of the drink is $1.49. Questions on this here? Now it does give us answers, doesn't it? Because it gave us, on the next page, it does give us the answers for tacos or drinks. It gave us the 5 answers for drinks. If we forget how to do both of these here, we could pick one of the drink values. So what is one of the answers on the page that it gives us. Because 1.59 is one of them, yes? So if I put it in the first equation, 2d plus 1.49 equals 3.07. I could solve this, yes? Because we could subtract 1.49 minus 1.49, which tells us that 2t is equal to, because that's going to be 2, 9, 7, so 8, 5, and we have 1, yes?
Yes.
Divide by 2, telling us t is equal to 0.79. And that's kind of okay, big deal. But I just picked one of the numbers and plugged it in and found t for this here, yes? If these equations are going to work out, the value of tacos, or the value of t should be the same for both equations, yes? That means if, for us here, that 1.49 was the correct answer, it means I can type it into both equations. 3t plus 1.49 equals 3.86. And the value for t for both of these should be the same, yes? So we could pick one of the numbers, plug it in for our variable that it's asking for, and see, does it make the other variable be the same? If it does, then that's the solution. If it doesn't, it's not. Because here we can subtract 1.49 from both sides. Minus 3t is 7, 16, 7, 2.37. We can divide both sides by 3. 3 does not go into 2, so 0, but 3 goes into 23 7 times, which gives us 27, which is 0.79. We have the same value for t, so that means the 1.49 is the correct answer. Do y'all see how that works? Because, I mean, we could have picked a different answer that it gave us, and we would have found 2 different values for t, so that's not the correct answer. So there's more than one way to get at the answer, especially if they already gave you the answers to begin with. If they gave you the possible answer choices, we can try plugging them in and see, does the other value give us, that it gives us, is it the same? Any other questions on this so far? We'll go on and start working or doing the other discard. Let's see here. Looking at the questions that it gave us, the practice problems. So we can look at the practice problems here. So the first one here, what is the sum of the real numbers x and y? So the sum of the real numbers x and y is 15. So sum of real numbers x and y, what are we saying? That x and y, and we get their difference is 3. So we're saying what? X minus y is 3, yes? Is it asking for the value of x or y? What is it asking for there? X and y, their multiplication, yes? So we need to find the values of x and y and then multiply them together. So again, we could try solving it this way, or we can use the augmented matrix. We can plug it into the calculator. Which way do y'all want to do? Matrix. So when we make the matrix, the first one's going to be 1, 1, 15. The other one's going to be 1, negative 1, 3. We have to take the sign in front of it with it. So in the calculator, to plug it into the matrix, we can go second matrix over to edit. Now again, since we only have 2 equations and we have 3 spots, it's still a 2 by 3. We'd have 1, 1, 15. 1, negative 1, 3. So we're able to type it in. Then we can do what? Second, quit. we would go second matrix over to math, and we want to find RREF. Enter. Second matrix A. Hit enter, and we get this here. So what are the values of x and y? 9 and 6, yes? So what do we need to do lastly? Multiplying. 6 times 9 is 54. So the correct answer is E. E, 54. Questions on this here? Lily and Laura pulled their money to purchase their brother Lima a video game for his birthday. The video game cost a total of $45. If Laura was only able to contribute 2/3 of what Lily did, how much money or how much did Laura put towards the present? So what is the total present? $45. So we could say what Laura and Lima paid together was 45. What they paid together total was 45, yes? Okay. If Laura, so we could call Laura the x variable, was only able to contribute 2/3 of what Lily contributed, so Laura contributed what? 2/3 of what Lily did, yes? Any questions on how I found any of this here? Does all this make sense? Yes? We good, Sarah? So, I mean, it seems like there's a lot there, but really, what did we do? I kind of went through and just broke it down, yes? So, together, they paid $45, okay? And again, if I had it in paper, I would be writing this on the top of the answer, or on top of the paper itself. That Laura is X, Lily's Y. So we have this here. So X is 2/3 Y, yes? What can we do with that? We can replace X with it. So 2/3 Y plus Y is $45, yes? Well, what's 2/3 plus 1? So alpha y equals enter 2/3 5/3, yes? So we're saying 5/3 y equals, to get y by itself we could multiply by 3/5 because we could flip it and multiply, or we can divide by 5/3. Either way, it's going to tell us that y is as 45, alpha y equals enter, alpha y equals enter, 5/3 is 27. So how much did Lily pay? Because Lily is our y, yes? Lily paid 27, so the correct answer is J, yes? How much did Laura put towards the present? Well, the whole present was what? 8. So the correct answer is actually F. Now, if I looked at this again, it's asking how much did Laura pay, yes? If Laura was only able to contribute 2/3 of what Lily did, and the total is 45, right? So Laura's amount should be less than Lily's. By how much? 2/3, yes? So I could use these amounts. So we could pick, say, 24. If 24 is what Laura paid, would be 2/3 of what Lily paid, yes? Well, we could divide both sides by 2/3 or multiply it by 3/2. So 24, alpha y equals inner, alpha y equals inner, 2/3. We get 36, yes? And what is 36 plus 24? Is it 45? No. So is that the amount? No. So I could try and plugging them in and seeing, does it work with the problem? Does that kind of make sense? So again, with a lot of the ACT, unlike the other tests that y'all take in my class, we can actually use the answers to try to help us get towards the correct answer. So let's look at number 3. A rectangular field is 3 times as long as it is wide. Okay, so a rectangular field. So what's that talking about? A rectangle, isn't it? The field is 3 times as long as it is wide. So the width we can call x. The length we can call 3x. And on a lot of the problems here, if it gives me some type of description, especially a shape or an object, I'm going to draw it. Because I don't know about y'all, but if I can visually see it, it's easier to work with. And it has an area of 192 square yards. So this whole thing here is 192 yards squared. How do we find area for a rectangle? It is what times what? Length times width, yes? So we're saying x times 3x is 192. So x times 3x is 3x squared equals 192, yes? So we can use the square root method, but we've got to do one thing first. Divide by 3. So it tells us x squared equals, because 3 goes into 19.6, 64. And then we can square root both sides, telling us x is equal to, it would be positive or negative 8 plus or minus 8, but because we're talking about a distance, 8 would not work. Now, is x the length or the width? Was x the length or the width? Because the field is 3 times as long as it is wide. So this is 8. The length would be so the correct answer is B. Questions on this here? We're going to finish this up on Monday.